from other languages, so that we need to know. So accordingly, we will see how we are going to use it. So I have implemented some I have not done. Okay, because I've just prepared, so that's why. So first of all, let us know what is an array. Okay, so array we already know that it is a kind of an arrangement of a similar kind of data. Generally, I mean to say that is the general definition, isn't it? Whenever if suppose someone asks me what is an array, we just have a contiguous way of arrangement of same type of data, isn't it? But array is nothing but a way in which array is nothing but a way in which contains multiple values. So what it means here is that the values may be stored in shell script. Everything is treated as a string. So here that concept is not there, unlike other languages that array has to be of similar type or data type only, isn't it? All the elements. Here the the elements which are there inside the array may be of different type. Okay, why? Because the shell script, it takes every value, okay, every data as a string. So that is the main reason that here we can have different types of data in one array. Okay, so whenever and we need to reference an array, so basically the indexing starts with 0. Okay, so here also the same thing. Now, whenever I want to declare array in shell scripts, then how do I do that? So syntaxes I've already like put it here. So we may have an array name. The name of the array will be there. Then the index number that we want to locate to of the array, and the value. That means that value will be stored inside that particular location as defined by the index. So let's say if I say that array name is A2 equals to, let's say, 5. So what does it mean? That means 5 is a number which will be stored at the location index of 2. So simple is something like that. Like in other programming languages also you have uh, known, isn't it? Then explicit declaration. So these are different kinds of how we are going to make declarations. Okay, so we can declare like this also: declare minus a array name. So declare is the command in that way. Okay, then we can have compound statements as well. That means we are declaring array with many number of you can say values. Okay, so how we can do that? Array name is equal to, then this two brackets are there, first brackets, and inside that we have the value separated by a space between each of the value. Okay, so that you have to remember. Now, between equal and bracket, there is no space. And since it is a shell script, so the spacing is very, very important because the language is very strict in terms of syntax, spacing. Okay, so everything it is very, very much you can say stringent. So that part we have to look. Okay, or we can declare like this also: name of the array, then which index you want to store which elements. So accordingly, you can declare. So these kind of declaration of array, that means when we are saying that this is the array, okay, how we are declaring. So this kind of declaration is basically known as compound declaration. So basically, we have three types of declaration. We have seen how it is being declared. Okay. Now, whenever we want to print or display elements of the array, then how do we do that? Because the choices may vary. Like, for example, sometimes we want to print all the elements, sometimes we want to print first element, sometimes we want to print elements of a certain range, let's say from the first till the second, I mean to say index. The rest I don't want to print. Or sometimes I just want to like just a random, you can say, value of the array, okay, based on the index. So how do I do that? So for that, this is the syntax. So if I want to print all the elements, then I can use these you can say symbols, okay, at the rate and star. So if I have, let's say, if I put it down like this: echo dollar, inside the braces the name of the array, and then star, or maybe at the rate, then what will happen? It will print whatever all the elements that are there in the array. Okay, so again, echo dollar, then two this braces will be there. Inside them we have the name of the array that the user has basically given the name, it'll be user based, and then star, or you can say at the rate. Okay, so if any of these, like I mean to say symbols, we put either star or at the rate, then we will be able to display all the elements of the array. Now, suppose I want to print the first element, only the first element. Then how do I do? Then echo space dollar, the name of the array. Let's say the name of the array is ARR. Okay, and which element I want to print? The first. So first element, the index will be what? Zero. So it'll be zero. Then, or I can declare it like this also: echo dollar add one. So by default, it will print the first element. Okay. Then if I want to print elements from a particular index, okay, from a particular index, sorry, that means generally the index of the array starts from zero. Let's say we have an array from, let's say which stores five items, okay. So what will be the index? Zero, one, two, three, four, okay. But let's say I want to print from index number two up till four. That means zero and one I want to skip. So how do I do that? Okay. So how I will do that? It's very simple. Echo dollar, the name of the array, okay, then the elements, okay, this one, colon, and then the starting index. Okay, so I think we have an example for all these. Do I have example? Yes. Like for example, to print elements from a particular index. Okay. uh, okay, just wait some time. Is it okay now? Okay. So let's say if I want to print a particular element, okay, yes, to print elements for a particular index, then we just have to specify the index number. That's the thing. If I want to print the elements in range, then the starting index colon the ending index. Okay, so that we have to specify. If I want to count the length of, you can say how many elements are there, or what is the, you can say elements, we will see with example, so it'll be more clearer. So we want to count the length of a particular element in array. So what we can do for that, we have to use a hash, okay, to print the length. So let's say echo dollar hash array zero. So what will this give me? It will give me the length of the element which is present at that location. That means that in the index number zero of the array. Or if I want to search, okay, any element in an array, then how do I do that? Okay, so so what I will do is I will for searching. I think syntax I did not put. Searching, it'll be something like this: echo dollar, the name of the array. So array, let's say I want to search from the entire array. So at the rate, and what I want to search, basically, I want to search that whichever elements are there, like among all the elements, it will search and it will check a pattern. Pattern of what? If suppose in those elements, okay, in those string, do we have small a or capital A? So this is a kind of a regular expression, isn't it? And if suppose, let's say we have elements, okay, which contain A, alphabet A, capital and small. then in that case it will return the value of 1. It will be just like kind of a, you can say, boolean. That means we'll just check whether we are having the elements or not. If suppose the text or the pattern that we are searching, it's not there, then it will return 0. But if suppose the pattern that we are searching in the whole array we find, okay, we can find it once, we can find it twice, depending upon the elements. So I mean, it may so happen that all the elements may contain this pattern in their, you can say, text, isn't it? But still the value will be 1 only. Okay, so so no matter like how many times this pattern is there, but still the output will be 1. Okay, then what is the next one? Yes, then suppose if I want to search and replace, that means I want to search a particular kind of a value, or you can say a kind of a pattern, and replace that pattern with something else. Okay, then how do I do that? So that also I can do that something like this. Let's say I'm replacing a substring. So let's say I have this is the substring I'm searching, a, and wherever a I'm finding, I'm replacing it with what? I'm replacing it with capital A. Okay, so generally the array value was this one: Prakhar, Ankit, One, Rishabh, Manish, Abhinav, isn't it? So this was the actual, you can say, elements which were there. So what we have done is we have replaced wherever a was there, we have replaced that small a with what? Capital A. So if you look here, a has been replaced at every section with what? Capital A. That is what we have done. Okay, similarly here also, what I have done now, in this case I have been very specific. I said that I don't want to replace the entire, I mean to say, element which is there in the array, but only one particular location. So I have taken only the first location of the array. What I've done is that wherever small r is there, I will replace that small r with what? Capital R. So that is the only thing I have done. Okay, so this I had executed. Okay, so let us see. This I already executed today. Okay, first I'll let me show. So whatever I have written there, I had done the same thing only. First of all, I've declared an array. So this is a static array. Why? Because we are initializing the elements of the array beforehand, and it is fixed throughout the course of the program. The user does not have the provision to enter the elements at runtime, so that's why it's a static array. Second thing, if you note here, see, some of the elements are textual, some one is numeric, isn't it? So what we can see
Categorical.
is that, as we have said, that in shell scripts, as each of the element, all kinds of elements are taken as string form, so it doesn't really matter whether we are inputting, you can say, a numeric data or a text-based data. It will be still taken as string. So these are the elements. So if you see here, how many elements are there? 6 elements, isn't it? So if I want to print the elements of the array, so this is the how we can print, like various means. So it's same only. It will print all the elements of the array. The first two is clear. The second one also, it's just an extension of the first two. That means we are printing right from index 0. Or if I want to specify a range also, I can specify, I'm not interested to print from 0. I can start from 1, index 1. So I have to just write 1 in place of 0. That's the only thing. Okay. Then if I want to print the first element, so I have to, I mean to say, specify the index. So here is index 0. Or if I write like this also, without any index, it will automatically print the first element. Similarly, if I want to print only a particular element, then just I have to specify the uh, index number, and accordingly I will be able to print. Then if I want to print elements from a particular index, that means the first one will basically print right from the first. This one will print from the next, you can say, index. This one will print from the third index. This one will be printing from the first index. Okay. This is what second and the fourth one will give me the same result. this one second and fourth. Okay, there will be no like difference in the output. Then to print the elements in range, that means what is 1 and 4? 1 to 4. It means that I will print element from index 1 to index 4. So all the elements that is there in between them, including 1 and 4, that will be printed. The same with 2 or this also, it will print element 2 elements only, it will print for index of array 2, and this one for index number 3 of the array. This also same concept only. Then if I want to print the length of a particular that, if I want to print the length of particular element, then we have to give inside hash. So hash basically will compute for the length. If I want to print what is the total size of the array, then this is the way. Since it deals with size or length, okay, so that has to be always be preceded with hash. Okay. If I want to search any kind of, you can say, pattern in an array, so how do I do that? Dollar, then inside the curly braces array. So I am searching the entire array. If I want to search only, let's say, only the first index, or okay, a particular, let's say, location only, then I have to specify the index number here. But if I want to search the entire array, then I have to give at the rate. Then between these two slashes, you have to give these star, and then inside whatever pattern you want to search, you can put it here. So I'm basically searching what kind of pattern? A, both for uppercase as well as for the lowercase. So it will search the entire part of the array. Wherever, if suppose it encounters any such pattern, then it will return the value 1. So one value basically tells us that it is true. That means we could locate this kind of pattern. It is present there in the content of the array. Then similarly, if I want to replace any substring, so what I have done is wherever A is appearing, I will replace with capital A. Similarly, this also wherever R is appearing, I'll replace with capital R. And this just we are printing the actual elements of the array. Okay, that is. So this is already try to execute this one. Okay, so this is the output. I think it's very clear from here. Whatever we have like stated. So accordingly, all these values are being printed. Okay, so you can cross check here also. Accordingly, these were the outputs we should have got practically. So this is basically gives us the size of the array. That's why that 7766 is coming. One is the first two is for finding the length of particular element, and this is for finding the you can say size of the array. Okay. And this is basically the replacement. So here, what did we do is all like capital small a has been replaced with capital A wherever small a was encountered. In the last case, I want to replace only the first item of the array. I mean to say first location of the array. So that's why I have explicitly specified this one 0. Only in that particular location, the replacement will be done. Okay, so you can try out this program, then only you will be able to understand. So any query? I've updated the file, so I'll give you that today. Yes, anyone would like to clarify this one? Array length and array size? Anyone?
Hmm.
Let us see from your junior level knowledge. That's why I'm asking you. Yes. The array length is basically how much amount of size has been occupied, okay, taken, okay. But in case of array size, it is basically in general the larger, that means the most, you can say the worst case, that means the maximum size of the array. Okay, so in array length, basically we just check only how much occupancy has taken place inside. Okay, but in case of array size, we are taking the whole size. That means irrespective of the occupancy. Anyone else would like to answer? So these are from C, C++. You must be knowing already. So I think that is fine. So we can proceed. Okay. So we can proceed to the next thing. So loops. Okay. So we have to be little, mean to say, cautious while we are handling loops. Okay, or anything related to shell because the rules are very strict. So if I want to find the, okay, this is okay. So this is the program that I've taken one example. So let's say I have five elements, okay, and I is, let's say, a counter variable, which will basically help for running the loop for a particular range. Okay, so I have a while loop here. So how do I use the while loop? So let's say I have set the variable I. Okay, so how many elements it has to print? Five elements. Okay, so I, it starts from 0, and what is the condition I've given is less than. Okay, then I have given something here. Now what does this mean? What does this mean? This will basically give me hash. I already said what will hash give me? The size of the array. So $hash array at the rate. So basically this loop will run for how many times? It will be 0, isn't it? I is 0 is less than up till the total size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? So its value will be less than 5. So it will be 0. It will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So now I will run this while loop. So every while is accompanied by keyword do and done. And inside that, I have to write the conditional statement. So how will I write? Echo, then dollar. Okay, this is how we have to do. Echo space should be there. Echo space, then dollar. Okay, then the name of the array, and then $I. Okay, so I will be changing every time. Now I have to increment also the value of I, isn't it? So how will I increment? It'll be in the next line. It's like C only, if you remember. Okay, but just we have to be careful with these syntax. So I, how will I increment, since it is a arithmetic computation? So what I have done is I have used the command expr. Expr is a command used in mathematical computations. Okay, so expr, and every expr will consist this tilde, this prime. And where will I get these this kind of symbol? I'll get this in the in between tab and escape button in the laptop. Okay, so how will I use expr? Then there is a space, then again $I, then again space, then plus, then again space, and then 1. So this basically will increment the count of I. Okay, first time it will be 0. Okay, because first when it'll run, it'll be 0. Second time will be 0 plus 1. So I value will be updated. It will do a cross check. Okay, then in that way it will go. The way how while loop functions. Okay. Okay. You want to go back? Something like this. What was your question? Yeah. This basically, like if you want to traverse through every location of the array, then we use at the rate r also. So anyone you can use air, then air is the array name. So at the rate. So at the rate means what? I'm visiting every cell of the array. Okay, every cell of the array. Similarly, if I write array name, that means then inside this star, that also means the same. I am visiting every cell of the array. Okay. So similarly here, okay, so hash basically here is used for count. If I don't use hash, then I will not be able to get the count. Okay, so that's why I have used. Okay, so same thing. This will be increment. The condition will be checked in the while loop. So it will be valid up till when? Up till I is starting from 0 and it ends at 4. Okay, so 0 up till 4. That means 5 times this loop will be, I mean to say, utilized. Okay, executed. This is basically how basically a while loop will use. Okay, for a static array. And okay, then if I use a for loop, so what I have done here is whenever I have taken 5. So I have okay. I think I have the program for this one. I have the program. So basically, what I'm doing here is I have taken an array of 5 elements. So I'll be iterating. Okay, so it will start from 0. Okay, it will start I value will be 0 and up. You can say elements. This will be. I mean to say iterating, not elements. Basically, for how many times will it iterate? So add again at the rate. Okay, dollar should be outside. So outside the dollar, we have two inverted commas. So this basically will traverse throughout the array till the end. Okay. So basically, this will give you the count how many times it has traversed. Okay. So let us see whether we'll be able to execute this one. So what was the name? So many are there. So for the first one, for I in this one. So for the first one, uh, for it'll be automatically for the first value. So it will be printing every. Okay, sorry. This one. No, sorry. This one is printing the iteration, like how many times the iteration has taken place. Okay, so I can even print the elements, so it'll be more or less this. It'll be the same only, which are there because we're printing I value. Okay, I is up like count we are printing, not the element. So that you have to be clear. Okay, so this I have not like checked as yet. I've just drafted the logic only. So if suppose we have let's say, the elements of the array where the user is supplying at the runtime. That means it's not static. So far, whatever we have seen, these are static arrays. Why? Because the elements are pre-decided, isn't it? During the initialization phase. But what if the values are being supplied at runtime? Then what do we do in that case? Okay, so there will be little kind of modification. So the first part is the same only. So here what we are doing, first we are prompting to enter how many numbers we would be inputting. Okay, that means the user will be inputting. So he can input from the keyboard. So for that, how do? We use the read command. Okay, so let's say he has specified the range. That means five numbers he wants to enter. Okay. So after that, what we will do for inputting five numbers or six numbers or user's choice, we cannot write so many piece of code, isn't it? Let's say he has given the range six. So six numbers will be inputted. So the same thing like six times we cannot write. So for that, what do? We write a loop. So what loop I have used here? I have used a while loop. So again here I have kept the condition. That means from I is how much? Zero. Less than less than till how much? That the user has given. So up till that time, this thing will be executed. Okay. So what do we have here? First of all, it has to be able to read those numbers, isn't it? So I have, let's say, if the user has specified for five the range, so five different numbers should be inputted from the keyboard. Okay. Then after that, what will happen to I will incremented every time. Okay, till when? Till this condition is not true inside the while loop. Okay, so once this is done, so it will come out. Once it comes out again, what I have seen is I have a echo command which uh, will put it on the screen, that whatever text is there, that is output. Now if I want to print again, okay, one by one, isn't it? So how do I print then in that case? Same thing again, I have to run a loop, because from the array, again, every item, by referencing the index, it has to be fetched, and then it has to be displayed. So same thing again, like here what we have inputted in the array, same thing here, we will not input, but we will display all the elements that are there in the array. Okay, so again this loop will start. I is already 0, so it is less than the range we have already specified at the top. So accordingly, this loop will be running up till the range that was specified by the user, and I will be keep on incrementing, and as it will increment, it will visit all the cell. Okay, as per the index value, its values will be printed using the echo command. Okay, so this one you can try today on your own. Okay, because codes are there. If it's difficult, these I have already given, and the output is there, but you can still try for your practice, and this one also you can try. Okay, so these four programs on array you can try today, and tomorrow I will try to do some more programs on arrays. Okay, for loop is not yet done, because the content I have to prepare. So after that we will see some more programs tomorrow on arrays, and then day after tomorrow we will go to uh, strings. Okay, so almost lab also we will be finishing by coming week. Okay, and then we will do some more theory which is left little bit. 15% is left. Okay, so I'm sharing this file. Okay, then homework for today, you have to do programs on Armstrong number and reverse of a number. Okay, so you have to submit by, let's say, only two programs, only this one. So by 9:30 p.m. today. Okay, after this, I will not accept the submissions. And I think most of the internals now will be based on assignments only. So all these will be carrying marks. Okay. So any query for today's class? What about others? Okay. Okay, then that is the end. I will just check tomorrow's program and follow up. I'll update and I will send. Okay, but those two programs by tonight, anyhow, you have to finish, and it has to be uploaded in the official group. That is the Armstrong number and reverse of a number. Codes I've already given in the file. So you just have to execute and check. And logic, if you don't understand, you let me know. But I don't think so. There should be problem because in junior class you have done. But if anyone has, you can personally write to me. Okay.